Hi everyone, I wanted to show you today a comparison of different styluses on the iPad. First of all, before I do that, I need to change the gesture control setting, because if you look at the minute, this one doesn't work. So what I need to do is have it so fingers can do the touch actions, because at the moment, if you disable the touch actions, your fingers just do the gestures like the pinch and zoom and stuff. So I've took that off so that then I can draw with my finger, which means this works, and then that also means that this one works. Apple Pencil will still work, it's just I won't have the... Where have I? Oh, I've got the palm rejection now. Oh, I didn't know I could still have palm rejection with the Apple Pencil in this setting. Anyway, let's get rid of that. And what I'm going to show you is the difference between the three different styluses. I'm just going to try and get my case out of the way. There we go. There we go. Right, so first of all, I'm just going to move you around because I can't draw straight on. That's better. Right, okay. So first of all, I've got this Stylus stylus, and it cost me 20 quid from Amazon. Again, I'm not sponsored by any of these. This is just, I wanted to show you the difference between different styluses. If you can't afford an Apple Pencil, or you've got an iPad that doesn't work with Apple Pencil, then this is great. This is a great little stylus. It does the job. You know, it means you can draw, and it's got a finer tip so you can see what you're doing. And it's a nice stylus. Downside is it doesn't have palm rejection, so as you can see, if I lean on the screen, it goes all glitchy. So you can't touch the screen with your hand. So I leaned on it. Ooh, siscally. You can't rest your hand on the iPad, and if like me you've got shaky hands, like my hands shake a little bit, then you will struggle with your straight lines, and sometimes you get a nice straight line. Depends on how shaky your hands are, but I do find if you do slower lines you get more of a wiggle. Faster lines it's pretty straight, slow lines you get a bit of a wiggle. So when I draw with this, it works great, but I do have to go in and straighten out my line art afterwards, which is a bit of a pain because it sort of doubles the length of time it takes you to draw the line art stage. Also, it doesn't have the pressure sensitivity, so I could press really hard and get a line that width. I could press really lightly and I get a line the same width. So there's no pressure sensitivity. Doesn't have a tilt feature particularly, although I've found it does work on the side of the pen. It doesn't make a difference to the line width, but I do find that the sort of whole tip works touching the screen. I do like the fact you can draw you can have the pen in different positions, so you don't have to just have the pen upright. So it's got pros and cons, but you know, if you've got nothing else, it's a great little stylus. It's just you have to get used to drawing without your hand leaning on the screen, which can be hard, but you know, it works as a stylus. Then the next one I've got is this is a disc stylus, and the way these two work basically is they make the iPad think your fingers touching the iPad. They're capacitive touch styluses, I think they are. I'm not going to go into the technical side of it because I don't know enough about it, but basically the iPad thinks this is your finger touching it. This one's a disc stylus, so you can see where your tip is touching the screen. It's also very nice and flexible, so you can draw it a bit of an angle. So this is a disc stylus. And this is Dimples XL. And you know, it draws, it works, it's a stylus. Again, there's no pressure sensitivity, so I could press really light and get a line like that, or press really hard and get a line exactly the same. But you can draw with it, you can see where you're drawing. you know, it allows you to be able to draw on your iPad quite comfortably, and because the disc is clear, you can see where you're drawing, which is quite nice. So that works quite well. Again, you know, it does the job. It's just you haven't got the touch sensitivity. You haven't got the tilt feature, although you can draw at several different angles to whatever's comfortable for your hand, as comfortable as you can get without touching the screen. And then the last one I've got to compare is an Apple Pencil. I finally managed to pick up an Apple Pencil. I've had my iPad since Christmas. I used to work on an iPad mini and use these two styluses, and these two styluses do work on here, obviously, as you can see, but I did want to upgrade to an Apple Pencil when I could get one, but obviously they're expensive. I managed to get this one second hand, so it cost me £60, which is still really expensive, but it's cheaper than buying a brand new one. So this is Apple Pencil. Apple Pencil. What I like about this is you've got the palm rejection, so I can lean properly on the screen and I can still draw. If I press really lightly, I get a light line. If I press a bit harder, I get a bit of darker line. If I press really hard, I get a really dark line, because this has got the pressure sensitivity, so I can vary my pressure and get different shades, which is quite nice. I've got to alter the pressure curve on it at the minute, because I find it's not, I can't quite get it to do it exactly as I want. Like sometimes I get a dark line in between, but again, I've just got to alter the pressure curve on the settings on the iPad. I like the fact it's got the tilt feature, so I can shade in like that. Also I can draw, you know, with tip of it, I can draw with the side of it. It's just a nice comfortable pencil to use, and I can vary the line width. But the main thing with this is, for me, is the fact it's got the pressure sensitivity and it's got the palm rejection, so I can actually draw comfortably on here, and it just makes, it does make a difference as to how your drawings come out. I mean, I'm only drawing a simple eye, but it's just nice that I can finally lean on the screen and that sort of thing. Yeah, it just, you know, it just makes all the difference. So yeah, if you have only got access to a Sisley one or a disc stylus, which is they both cost £20. I'll put that on there actually. They both cost 20 quid, and then obviously the Apple Pencil costs £60. If you get a second-hand one, they vary. You can get them as low as 50 quid depending on the quality of the second-hand, like how battered it is or anything. I mean, this one's in really good condition, so that's why it cost me the 60 quid. You can get second-hand the second generation Apple Pencils as well. You just got to have a look around in the shops that do like second-hand electrical stuff, which is where I got this from. It's just a local shop by me that does second-hand stuff. So yeah, as you can see, I mean, it is a far superior drawing tool. So if you're an artist, I'd say go for the Apple Pencil, just because of the benefits you can get with all your shading, your lines, like your dot, you know, your pressure sensitivity and that sort of thing. If you're not an artist and you just need a stylus for your iPad, go for something like a disc stylus or a stylus like this, which is like a capacitive touch stylus with a battery. Doesn't have to be the Sisley one or anything. Then you only spend about 20 quid. I mean, you can get the cheaper ones, which you can get for about a £5, which look like that with the sponge on, which again, you know, it works. And if you're just using it to move around your iPad, that'll do the job. So it depends on what what job you want it to do as to which stylus to go for. If you're an artist though, I do recommend this one. I've not found a stylus for the iPad that's better than this. The only other one I'd suggest is there's the, what's it called? Summit Crayon. Logitech Crayon, I think it is. I'll put the name on the screen. That's got Apple Pencil technology in it, and it's a cheaper pen. So there's that you could go for as well if you're an artist. But anyone else who's just using it just to move around the screen and just to select buttons and stuff, just go for a cheap 20 quid one or like a 5 quid one off Amazon. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this little comparison. I know it's not very technical, but I don't know enough about all the technical side of it to, you know, explain to you. So I just thought I'd do a simple comparison and then you can judge for yourself. And then the other thing I'll point out is if you've got when you in your gesture control settings on your iPad, if you disable touch actions, so your fingers only do like pinch and zoom and stuff, you will find you will find the Siscally one, and you can see it's on, doesn't work, and you'll find the disc stylus won't work. So if you've got a 2018 iPad and you're using Procreate and you can't get your disc stylus or your Siscally stylus to work, go into settings and go into gesture controls and make sure the disabled touch actions is off, and then you'll be able to use your disc stylus or your Siscally one. If you've got an Apple Pencil, I suggest having the disabled touch actions activated. That way your fingers don't make a mark on the screen and they just do the pinch and zoom and that sort of thing, but your pencil still works. Hope you enjoyed this little video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.